Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is KPZ. We're here on the home of the slightly above average ship review. I have a somewhat stupidly hilarious reason for making this video. Well, number one, I finally bought some Transformers commanders. We're going to try out Grimlock, who for some reason is French. I remember Grimlock as a child. He did not speak French. He did speak broken English. We're on Big Race. It's an epicenter match, and we are down tier in the Courbet 1944. So here's why it's funny. I was watching Vaz Vegas's video about the update, and instead of Carnot, I heard Courbet. And so I'm like, oh, let's do a secondary build with the Courbet. Yeah, not so much. Carnot, on the other hand, got its secondaries buffed. The Ministry of Balance over on Reddit is very excited. But we are going to try out Grimlock here in the Courbet 1944, which I don't think I've had a real reason to play. And we end up having an okay game in terms of kills, with the limitations of the Courbet, that it's very slow and it has this wing turret arrangement. I don't know if I talked about Courbet before. Lead ship of her class of 4 dreadnought battleships, reactivated after the German invasion of France, seized in Portsmouth by British forces as part of Operation Catapult, disarmed in 1941, used as a target ship in 1943. Her engines and boilers were removed in 1944 to prepare her for use as a breakwater during Operation Neptune. That's Normandy Bay landings or Normandy landings. She was scrapped in situ, that means in place, after the war. So I don't know where Ouija is, what flight of fancy they're involving themselves in, implying this ship had a retrofit. It did not. And this is just one of the things that gets me farther and farther away from this game every day, not to mention spaceships or whatever the most recent changes, all this super futuristic stuff, which doesn't have anything to do with warships. All right, there I thought just shooting a couple of turrets at that ship over there would get it done, the Wyoming, and clearly it did not. And I'm going to try again with the remaining turrets. I was trying to keep an eye out for this Monococoli over here. And there it is, first blood kill number 1. Ask and ye shall receive. All right, because of the wing turrets, pardon me, I am just going to get that wing turret turned around here on Monococoli, who should be trying to get torps off, but instead he's competing for the title of world's slowest ship. And that's going to give me plenty of time to light him up. Right there, Citadel hit. Great aiming on my part, if I do say so myself. Are the torpedoes in the water? I have no idea. The world's most glacial turn speed. We get the kill with a second Citadel hit. All right, G101, we're going to fix our secondary guns there. Got a Krasny Krim over there and a couple other ships. So yeah, I got to tell you guys, I don't know how much I've said this for the second video in a row. I have maybe 1 or 2 archive videos. I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to play this game. And I don't know what will happen to... Maybe I'll just do 2, like a long play on Saturday, and then maybe horse racing on the PS2 on Sunday. I just don't know, but they're losing me as a customer by involving all this fantastic stuff. And I know, I guess word on the street is that they're losing players, they're losing the player base. And so they're doubling down on that by fake ships and futuristic ships and stuff like that. And that is going to drive me away from this game, just like it did World of Tanks. So I will hold out for as long as I can, but I'm not sure there's a lot of matches left in me at this point, which is a shame, really. I was an early adopter of this game, a beta tester. Really enjoyed it in the beginning when it was about historical ships. But as the pay to win commanders and ships and fake ships started piling up and stuff like that, really just turned me off. And the terrible gameplay didn't help. I mean, it's not as terrible as the Courbet secondary battery, but it's pretty close. You would think for a ship with 22 secondary guns, the Courbet would offer a little bit more than its occasional firing of the secondaries, but it doesn't. So, at one point, I know admitting this is probably bad. At one point, the reason why I didn't do playthroughs of other games on this channel was I was going to sell the channel and sell my account to someone if I could pull that off, and give them my World of Tanks account as well. But yeah, I don't think that's going to come to pass. That's why I shut down my other YouTube channel. So anyway, when it dies, and all the money I spent on this game will die with it. And that's fine. At least it wasn't spent on cocaine. So, I mean, there's a bright part. Although the economy of South American countries will have suffered as a result of that decision. G101's also going to suffer as a result of his decision. Look at how slow these turrets are turning, baby. Man, they are just so slow. And someone pinches my kill. Oh, you bastards. That's going to hurt. All right. We are turning here. I know there's a Kuma there. I also know the aircraft carrier is right around the corner. And there's also this other cruiser, another Montecuccoli. We're going to turn. And again, I'm overestimating my turret turning speed. Throw shots out. We get a close quarter. We don't get the kill again. Oh my God, this is going to be so painful. All right, there's the Langley. I don't even know where to aim anymore, but our secondaries are hitting him. And we're waiting for our turrets to slowly turn around. And I thought that was the right place to aim. Well, clearly that was not, although inaccuracy didn't help. And just a minute, I'm going to notice my teammate crossing my bow here. And for a minute, I wrote off the Langley. We'll try shooting in front. That really didn't do a whole lot of damage either. I guess I'm hitting the armor belt. We're going to shoot again. And we'll finish off the Langley. And then this Kuma, up close Kuma, the last kill. This is going to be hilariously entertaining. Look at how glacially slow my turrets are. I'm trying to catch up with my turrets right about now. And so I'm like, screw it. Let's go to the last guns. And those turn too slowly, and I have to kill them with my secondaries. So, not really, but also a Kraken fail. Two chances at the Kraken, actually, just out of order. Anyway, we end up with the victory, First Blood medal, Close Quarters Expert medal, a whopping 42,462 total damage. 4 kills, 2 assisted kills, 1 assisted base cap. We ended up with 3,700 ship XP, 4,000 commander XP, 122k in the Courbet 1944 with my man Grimlock, who I was going to do a Grimlock imitation. I can't. It was like, me Grimlock. That's how he talked in the cartoon, if I'm remembering correctly. All right, we didn't even finish at the top of the board. That's what I get for doing that imitation. But we did have 2 medals and 4 big kills. Clearly, my teammates, many of whom probably just started playing this game in the last week, are in awe of my prowess, as is the entire losing team. All right, let's go just look at a couple of selected stats here. Your secondary range is only 5.5 kilometers with a 9.2 second reload. So I have the secondary bod 2 loaded, and it's still really that bad. Also, the turret turn time 60 seconds. So there's a lot of minuses to this build. I wouldn't really recommend it. Maybe there are some higher tier ships that Grimlock might work on, but the Courbet 1944, in addition to being an imaginary ship, except for like a reef for wildlife in the ocean, it just didn't work out. Anyway, here's Grimlock. We have Porcupine on in row 2. That's what made the turrets turn so slow. Yeah, it just, maybe for one of the higher tier ships, you can see the cooldown time there. But for this ship, and I got a full secondary build with inspirations, not really working out. But we do get that kill counter camo, which is worth the money you paid for it, which in this case is nothing other than your life, meaning the time you spent wasted getting this ship. Anyway, love to hear your comments, and you can always subscribe. See you next time, folks.